Well, the Israelis, I think, have two goals in Lebanon. One, which is to permanently defang Hezbollah. And then two, I think they want to control all of the territory in southern Lebanon up to the Litani River.
Mhm.
Uh, Before this war started on February 28th, the conventional wisdom in the West was that Hezbollah had been defanged and was no longer a serious threat to Israel. Well, we've been watching Hezbollah lob missiles into northern Israel, lob rockets into northern Israel, and all the evidence is that Hezbollah is very much alive. I would also note to you that the Iranians are coordinating with Hezbollah, according to all the reports I've seen, and the Iranians are lobbing missiles into northern Israel, where Hezbollah is firing away. So in northern Israel, the Israeli citizenry is getting bombed quite regularly, which is disastrous for Israel. Furthermore, with regard to invading southern Lebanon and going up to the Litani River, if you look at the number of Hezbollah forces in that region, you look at the terrain, I think it's extremely unlikely that the Israelis are going to be successful. And again, I've been reading reports that the Israelis are losing lots of Merkava tanks, as you would expect, in their attempts to conquer more territory in southern Lebanon. So, from an Israeli point of view, what's happening vis a vis Hezbollah in Lebanon is not good news. They are not doing well. So, they're not doing well against Iran and they're not doing well against Lebanon.
Then why do they continue to do this? Netanyahu has bragged about becoming a quote global superpower. I believe he said that in Hebrew. Is that really just about fulfilling his ambition to destroy any potential regional threat, even at the cost of becoming a global pariah and co-opting the United States of America, which itself may abandon it sometime in the future? Why would they continue to expend this much blood and treasure if it's really not in their interest, or is it?
Well, I'd make 2 points. One is the Israelis are addicted to war. Uh, the Israelis believe in a very profound way in big stick diplomacy. They believe that they can pound countries into submission. They don't believe that you need political settlements to solve wars. They think that you can settle wars with the mailed fist. This is a foolish way of thinking, but it is the way they think. And that explains a lot of what's going on. The second thing is that it's quite clear that Prime Minister Netanyahu is in political trouble and legal trouble inside of Israel, and that his best strategy for surviving is a constant state of war. So many Israelis believe that as long as Prime Minister Netanyahu is in office, he's going to go to great lengths to keep the war machine in action, to keep fighting wars, because that's the best way he can achieve political survival. So I think it's those two factors together that account for what Israel is doing.
What do you make of those allegations, and how does that match with the reporting and the thinking you've done about the way that Israel operates in the U.S.?
I have no doubt that Joe Kent is correct, that it was Israel and the Israel lobby that led us into this war. I mean, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, and Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House, said as much immediately after the war started. They made it clear that it wasn't the United States that took the initiative in starting this war. It was Israel that took the initiative, and Israel, in effect, dragged us in. Uh, Furthermore, you want to remember that Lindsey Graham has admitted that he went to Israel and he coached Prime Minister Netanyahu on how to convince President Trump to go to war against Iran. You just want to think about that. Here's a US Senator saying that he was coaching Prime Minister Netanyahu on how to get President Trump to go to war against Iran. In other words, President Trump needed coaching because his basic inclination was not to go to war against Iran. And then if you look at what was happening inside the United States, all you have to do is look at the two principal individuals who were advising Trump on whether or not he should go to war. They were Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, who are passionate Zionists. In fact, Jonathan Powell, who is Britain's national security advisor, this is Britain's national security advisor. He was present at the negotiations that were taking place between Iran and the United States right before the war.